Well, it's the week before Christmas and this is definitely the last trip of the year. Welcome to the Journeyman's Tales. I've just finished 3 nights in my local syndicate, which, considering the time of year and the horrendous winds that were trying to lift a bivvy off the ground at times, didn't turn out too badly. It's the usual hints and tips, plus my final evaluation of my RidgeMonkey bait boat. So get yourself a brew, sit down and relax, and enjoy the last video of the year. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the final trip of the year. Bit of a wet start, but it has dried up now, and it's supposed to be dry I think for a couple of days, but the wind is due to be picking up. Anyway, we're out doing it, possibly for the last winter. It's getting pretty difficult, but we're out giving it a go. Took a bit of a time to get sorted. I've got the 3 rods out on what I think are reasonable spots in deep water. Usual rigs for this place. I've got a wafter and a snowman on my Flexi D rig, and I've got a special pop-up on a withy rig out to my left. And they've gone out in the boat and they've gone with a... You've seen me doing this before, but they've gone with a couple of PVA bags with them. So I'm not spreading the bait around. If they want to eat, they're going to have to move a little bit from mouthful to mouthful. And it's not obviously, because it's going out in the boat, it's not widely spread out. They're going to have to move just that little bit. And when you do get a run, it should be a bit more than a couple of bleeps if they're moving around a bit. But there's certainly some fish been coming out. Quite a few came out of the weekend and the weekend before that. There's not many up here. I was really surprised. I thought they'd be really crowded up here. I was half expecting to drive straight home again, really. But there's only 3 others on, which is a surprise to me. But in the going swims, which is no surprise, but I'm happy where I am. I'm happy where the spots are. So, yeah, and I think a lot of fish have been coming, when they have been coming, it's been coming during the day, which is nice. So maybe get a bit of a night's kip. Body slowly recovering. A few more cups of caffeine. And then I'll start doing a bit of tea, I think. But yeah, nice and relaxed. It's calm. There's a bit of a northwesterly blowing at the moment. Fair bit of cloud up there, should keep the temperatures up. Everything's good in the world. Well, I've not long finished talking to you. And it's kiting a bit into the reeds. I don't like that much. Come on now, play nice. Yes. All right, calm yourself. There, not long after speaking to you, mad as a moose, 16 pound and a few ounces. Absolutely thrilled with that start. Absolutely thrilled with it. Great. Whoa. Crazy lively considering the temperatures, but there we are. Brilliant. Right, a couple of stills go to back. Good morning. Well, that was a quiet night on the fish front, but the wind picked up quite considerably and dropped the temperature and was blowing straight into the bivvy for most of the night. The clouds cleared. We had quite a bright moon, not a full moon, but a bright moon, and loads of stars. But it clouded up first thing this morning with a little bit of drizzle, but it's brightening up again now. I think we're due for bigger winds turning up. But I was told yesterday that most of the fish seem to be coming during the day, so should be able to get a bit of kip during the night. But all things are quiet at the moment. Loads and loads of tufties on here, overwintering. So got to keep an eye on those. At the moment, they're not interfering with me, so it's good. So I'll finish this cup of coffee and I'll let you know exactly what I was doing yesterday, putting the bait out, etc, etc. So what I'm doing is my normal sort of cold water, heading into winter tactics, and that's just making up little balls of what I've got here is chopped up squid orange boilie, some halves in there as well, and a few squid pellets. And I just make up a number of PVA balls really. So I'm only putting 3 out in the boat, maybe 4 at a push. So basically you're just dropping down mouthfuls of bait. So there's about, say, 3 or 4 of those go out with the bait. On the bait it's just a small stick of fine pellets, and that's what's going out there. And I just think that they're not moving around very much, but it's enough to get them grubbing around a little bit more. If you're putting it out in a mass, then they're hardly moving at all to feed, but they've got to move from clump to clump, although they're not falling that far apart when they're going out in the boat. If you spod them out, you can spread them out a bit more, but the colder the water gets, the less movement the fish are going to be getting involved in, I think. And then you can do all this in advance. So I've got a stock of squid and orange made up, and a few of the specials that I was using, the blackthorn pines. Except the blackthorn pines, I was putting it out in crumb for some reason or other. I wasn't putting the balls out, but that's the tactic that's being used at the moment, and that's what produced the fish yesterday on the squid orange wafter. I got one on a wafter, one on a snowman, squid orange snowman with a Indian spice topper, and one withy rig with a special pop-up one. And it's the wafter that went. So we'll see what produces today, if anything. Hopefully it will. And then maybe we'll move the rods around once the fish give me a bit more of a direction. This will be interesting. Probably the worst conditions I've put this boat out in, and I don't reckon its chances much, honestly. It is almost impossible to keep it in a straight line. And the chances of those PVA bags being solid by the time they get out there are pretty remote. I think I'm going to have to make a cover for the hopper to keep the water out. It really does look like a toy going out there. And you certainly can't afford to leave it out there while you sort the rod, because it'll be, in this wind, it'll be in the reed bed before you can save butter. So there we go. Now it's in the lee of the island, it's a bit better, but mind you, this is the worst the wind has been, so it's a hell of a test, but it is very difficult to keep it in a straight line. Having said that, it's behaving itself at the moment. Now it's in the chop, it's struggling, really struggling. You probably can't hear this because of the wind noise, but yeah. Might need upgrading, methinks. Just give you a quick afternoon update. I think the rain is beginning to stop. I did take a couple of rods and go and fish the margins off to my left in the bay, where I've been advised that some fish had been showing. I think mainly yesterday evening as opposed to this morning, but anyway, I went over there for a couple of hours till the rain started, and then retreated back to the bivvy. And I think the rain is beginning to ease off a bit now, which is nice. It means I can drop the door back down and get out, stretch my legs and get a bit of fresh air. But yeah, we're coming into bite time really, or yesterday's bite time. We'll see. I think the wind seems to be turning a bit more westerly as opposed to northwesterly at the moment. It really is coming directly into bivvy, but as long as it stays dry, I don't mind. I know we're right on the coast here, but this is crazy seagulls. And they spend most of their time beating up the tufties trying to get a boilie. Well, just a quick early evening update. We're now past bite time, or yesterday's bite time, unfortunately. Nothing's showing, nothing's happening. The rain has stopped. I did go and fish the bay off to my left for a couple of hours with 2 rods, having been given some information that fish had been showing over there, but I got the information a bit late. I think it was showing yesterday evening. But nothing happened over there, unfortunately, but then it started to rain, so I went and hid in the bivvy. So the rods are out in front of me again. I put 2 rods over where I had the fish yesterday, and the left-hand rod is on the near side margin off to my left. So we'll wait and see, but it's not supposed to rain now for the rest of the night. But the wind is beginning to pick up again. It's supposed to be getting stronger and stronger as the night goes through. But anyway, maybe that'll provoke something, I don't know. It's not particularly cold for December, but we'll see. Well, unfortunately, there was another quiet night on the fish front. The weather was somewhat less quiet. The wind really did pick up with some quite big gusts, and then we had very light rain, but unless you put the door up, it was blowing. Well, even with the door up and a small gap at the top, it was blowing onto the bed. But then the alarms were going off. Just a couple of bleeps, but it was floating reeds coming across and then bouncing on the lines, and despite going out and removing them a few times and dipping the tips down, it was still occurring. But seems to have quietened down a bit now. But the wind is picking up and then dropping and picking up and dropping. Is quite a steady northwesterly, but I mean, it's crazy warm. I think we're in sort of 11-12 degrees during the day. Crazy warm for December. What you wouldn't have seen was in the evenings, just as the lights fade in, I couldn't film it was too dark, but the amount of fry dimpling in the margins and, well, out to about sort of 20-30 yards really, all over the place. I mean, it was piker's dream, absolute piker's dream. I don't know if it was just the wind that was moving them or whether the pike were herding them up, as they do sometimes when they're fry feeding. Amazing amount of fry, but no carp, unfortunately. Not sure if any have come out, but I was having an hour in whether to pack up this morning, quite frankly. If I'd have had the strength I might have done, but I didn't. So we're going to give it one more day and a night, and then we'll have to call it a day. Get home and wrap some presents, I think. But I mean, the conditions are really good. It just needs one, doesn't it? One maybe a bit bigger than 16 would be nice, though. Wealthy greed, terrible, isn't it? Well, it's just gone 1 o'clock and the wind is picking up big time. I've just redone all 3 rods, and quite frankly, in this chop, it is making the RidgeMonkey bait boat look like a toy. It ships an amazing amount of water over the front end, even when most of the weight towards the back. If I continue with it, I'm going to have to make a hopper cover keep the water out, but I don't think it's going to get a bigger test than it's just had, because that's quite crazy out there. But anyway, the 3 rods are out. The left-hand rod I put out tight to the island. It's been fishing off to my left for a while now. Nothing to show for it, so that's gone up onto the island with a special pop-up on a wheelie rig, but the rig's exactly the same as I showed you earlier. So I'm just refreshing a couple of spares, ready for the mass action they're going to get tonight. All good, exciting stuff. But yeah, the jury's still out a bit on the bait boat. It is a bit lightweight, but then what are you talking? 3,000–4,000 pounds for a Carp Lounge bait boat. Great, as long as you don't tell beloved. Notice I'm not blobbing these in this wind. I shall wait till get in the shelter for that nonsense. But yep. We'll be all geared up. Ready for the 3 o'clock boogie, as they say. Happy times. Trouble is I can't see anything with that sun. Come on, please. Please, 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 please. Whoa, baby. Quarter to 3, just before Tuesday night time. All right. Ridiculously hard fighting. Beautiful, scaly thing. All right. How about that? 25 pounds, 15 ounces. Merry Christmas. Thanks, buddy. It's a beautiful looking fish as well. Happy times. Jeez. What a gem, eh? On the squid orange wafter. God knows if we're going to get the boat back out there again in this wind, but we'll give it a crack, eh? Fantastic. Thrilled a bit. Coming into Thursday evening, the light is fading very quickly now. And I'm trying to calm down after that fabulous 25 pounder. I will, well, the wind is gusting around. Hope there's not too much noise on the mic. But yeah, I'll have to edit the playing of the fish, because at one point I was doing my level best to look like a complete plank who'd never been fishing before, but I'll edit that out and you won't get to see it. But the fish did show signs that it possibly picked up the other two lines. So rather than leave it to chance, I thought, right, I'll bring them in. So I put the right hand rod back out on the spot with the wafter, the squid orange wafter. I thought, right, whilst I've got the middle rod out, I'll put it a bit closer to the right hand rod and I'll put a wafter on that as well. So out they went in the boat, and it's really choppy out there, it has to be said, but managed to get them back in. And then I was running out of my bait balls. So I thought, well, I'll charge the batteries up on the bait boat whilst I make a few more bait balls quickly, and I'll put the third rod out, believe it or not, on a wafter. So that was the plan. And when I took the batteries out of the bait boat, the RidgeMonkey Hunter 750 bait boat, the right hand battery compartment, the water was up to the charging port, hadn't quite got to the battery connection point, and in the left hand battery compartment it was above the battery connecting part, so it had gone up above the sea and into the battery connecting part, and the battery was full of water. So I didn't realise at that time, but it wouldn't charge. It wasn't charged, so I gave it a shake, and it was obviously full of water. The left-hand one did start charging, or the light was flashing to pretend it was charging, but then I gave that a shake, and that was full of water as well. And it's not from rain, it's from water it's taken on as it's going out. So a couple of people have been asking me what were my further thoughts on it since I've had it a while now, and quite frankly, it won't be going out again. It's ridiculous. I mean, the battery compartments on these things have got to be, well, you put them in ruddy water, for God's sake. So the battery compartments have got to be waterproof. And yeah, the batteries fill up. Now, I haven't spoken to RidgeMonkey, to be fair, about it, but I mean, what are they going to do? They're not going to give me money back. They might replace the boat, but who's going to have faith in one of those again? So, I don't know. If the batteries don't charge up again, I'll have to make up my mind what I'm going to do with it, but I'm certainly not relying on it. The left-hand rod, I know it's tragic, isn't it? But I had to cast it out, which isn't a major problem, but I couldn't put the balls round it as I would have liked to have done. But fortunately, it's coming towards the end of the trip, not the beginning of the trip. But yeah, I'm beginning to calm down a bit. I'm not happy with it at all, I've got to be honest. I'm not happy with this wind blowing mucky my coffee either. But as I say, fortunately the right hand rod and the middle rod are on the spot with the bait balls, both on the squid and orange wafters. And the left hand rod wasn't a bad cast, if I say so myself. We'll see. And when I finish calming down, I'm going to cook a bit of tea. And Barry, no, there's no rice involved. Cheers. Well, it's only been back out on the spot for about 40 minutes and it's away again. And they do say Christmas is about the little ones. So that's me done. It's the final morning. It's time to start packing away. It was a quiet night as far as you're concerned. Busy night for me. Bream attack. Yeah, crazy buzzers were going up and down for some while before one of them decided to hang themselves. They are getting bigger, but you don't need a bream in the middle of the night. But there we are. That's me done. Time to slowly start packing away. Head home and finish off the wrapping before Christmas. As always, thanks for joining me on this Journeyman's Tales. Can I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. And if I may just make a shout out in these turbulent times for the NHS, my oncologist, Dr. Ali, who is a credit to his profession. He thinks I'm nuts doing this, but he's a credit to his profession. And with his help and his support, I'll see you all in the new year. Cheers for now.